Sorry, that would be, am I clear? Everyone can hear me? Chantal? Am I
Yes, we can
sounding
hear
all
you.
good? Okay, awesome. Good afternoon. Awesome. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Careers Week, brought to you by GradStar and Leaply. It's your guy, Kiana Cotton here, and I am your wonderful host for this amazing session. For those of you who have not heard of me or met me before, some info about me. I'm a third-year BCom accounting student at Nelson Mandela University and a proud top 100 GradStar superstar. Just a few tips and tricks for all the attendees from my side, especially those on the web and mobile app. Please ask questions. Do not be shy. Do not hold back on us. Just ask your questions. I cannot stress it enough. Engagement with both speakers' content and the speakers themselves is very important. So again, please do not hold back. Be noticed, stand out, and simply just blow us away. Okay, it's been asked that the attendees please ensure that all comments are posted in the Woover chat bar and not the video chat bar. Okay, so the Woover chat bar, not the integrated video chat bar. And questions to be posted in the Q&A section. Just another tip, if the speaker pops up a poll, please remember to answer it. So keep an eye out. And again, keep the questions rolling in. If you do experience any issues with the web or mobile platform, the session is alternatively streamed and can be watched on YouTube, the link of which will be posted in the chat. There is also a trending hashtag CareersWeek 2021. So get posting, take a selfie of yourself in the session and just make it go live. That's again, hashtag CareersWeek 2021. This morning, I am honored to be hosting an incredible company for this session, a company which I'm sure everyone here has heard of, and some might even personally be banking with them, and they are none other than Capitec. Just a quick info, did you know that as of August 2017, Capitec was the second largest retail bank in South Africa, based purely on the number of customers opening new accounts per month? Wow. If you ask me, Capitec certainly is banking, yes, but it's simpler. Okay, to tell us more about Capitec and how we can be part of their journey are two amazing panelists, and introducing them to kicking off this amazing session will be Chantal Wilson. And FYI, Chantal is the talent management consultant at Capitec. Introing Chantal is a quick video, so to start it all off, so sit back, relax, important, pay attention, and enjoy. Over to the video and Chantal.
And looking at how much I've developed as a person now, from leadership capabilities that are more towards the team dynamic and being able to work with teams, being able to understand the different people that you're working with.
So the ability to challenge your thinking, your decision making, so your thought process as well. So I feel like it's the birth of the growth that transpired in the 2 years. I think most of us grow up with the connotation that leaders are born, but I feel now more than ever that leaders are actually are taught.
I've learned that making a meaningful contribution means to be a self-starter. It means to be able to collaborate with different team members and teams in general. It means that the effort is not only just yours, it's a team effort.
It's almost like driving a race car. You're in control, you're in the driver's seat, you can determine how fast or how slow you're going to go around the track. You go around the track multiple times, so you have a nice full 360 view of the entire business.
Definitely a highlight of the program for me would be working with a fellow graduate on a little project that we picked up on one of our rotations, taking it through from the idea phase right through to implementation and saving the bank roughly over 100,000 Rand per month, especially getting a full 360 view of the entire organization from branch level right up to call centers to various teams that we currently work with right now. Just getting a piece of view that the standard person does not necessarily get, as well as getting to interact with the execs.
So what comes to mind when I think about the graduate development program is the fact that I think it's a Roald Dahl quote, and it says that those who don't believe in magic shall never find it.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's very exciting to be part of this. It's a first for us, but we as a team, my colleagues that I'll present soon, are very excited. We started today a little bit about our session introducing about what our graduate development program is about. But together with me today, I have Tembi and Oliver Ging that's going to take you a little bit on a journey about their experiences, in being part of the program, and also know when they first put up their hand to be part of Capitec, what have they've experienced throughout the journey. So enjoy the ride, and I'm going to hand it over to Tembi.
Thank you, Chantal. I'm very excited to be here this morning. I'm just quickly going to share my screen so that everybody can see the presentation. I'd like a thumbs up when you guys can see the presentation.
It is showing clearly.
We can see it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, so just to give you a little bit of a background about me, my full name is actually Biso, but my colleagues call me Tembi, and obviously everybody else. What you see here on the screen is just a small representation of who I am, my life. I'm a bit of a fitness junkie. I love clean eating. I hike on Saturdays. And yeah, currently living in Cape Town. I started at Capitec in 2018 on the graduate program, and I actually studied biochemistry. So I saw some people were asking, does Capitec have any opportunities for law graduates? Definitely. Although it is a bank, I started out completely on the other end, which is a biochemistry degree, and I came in. So yes, there's definitely opportunities out there for all of you. I study at the University of Cape Town, so hi to all the UCT grads out there. So just to tell you a bit more about my brand Moto, my brand Moto is basically, I don't know why it's not clicking. Give me a place to stand and I will move the earth by Archimedes. And what it actually depicts is just the type of person that I am. It is my brand. I've lived through it ever since I even started looking for a job. And it really talks to my passion. I take opportunities and I grab them with both hands. I run with it. I'm really the type of person who, if you let me in just slightly, I am going to take over your world. So yeah, my career goals are to just make use of data and information and knowledge interchangeably in order to influence business strategies. So currently I am a business intelligence analyst in the data and analytics space, and I hope to impact the lives of low to medium income earning households, which is what I do on a daily basis. But in addition to this is really to make use of my analytical skills to develop small businesses around the African continent. So this is where I really want to move towards. And just to tell you a bit more about why I joined Capitec, for me, financial literacy was really not an open discussion at home. It was not a conversation that I had. I had to learn about banking and using my money in varsity like many of you. But when I opened my first account with Capitec Bank, I really felt that they understood the client that I was. And the communities that they served, they were communities where I had come from. It was communities in income and households where we all didn't know about finances, and I continue to learn from that perspective. So I really tried to stay true to my brand as well by entering the financial services industry with a bank that spoke truly to my values. When I started with Capitec Bank, I started on the graduate development program like Chantal mentioned, and really the 3 stages that I went through were the selection phase, which is usually your interview phase, and then I went through the rotation and development phase, and I'll tell you a little bit more in detail about that. And then I moved to the placement phase, which is where I currently am right now. So the selection phase, and this is probably the phase that really identifies with most of you today because you're just trying to get in. And I just wanted to remind you that at this point in time, most clients really, anyway, I mean, myself included, are no longer really loyal to a brand. Clients use services and products that really meet their needs. And as a business function and as a business, that is usually what recruiters are looking for. They're looking at your ability to service the need in their business. So being the best man for the job is really different from being the best performer in your class. Some tips that I'd give you for this is just to be authentic, really be true to who you are and your brand. Come prepared. Do your research. I remember during my interview phase, Harry, who is our CEO, and I didn't even realize at the time that he was sitting right next to me, asked me the question that if I had given you R1 million to just grow my business, where would you invest it and why? I was really thrown off by that question, but because I'd done a little bit of research about the culture of Capitec Bank and the values that drive them, I was able to somewhat give an answer, obviously not to its clear detail, but it really gave him the opportunity to see what I was passionate about and what value I was about to add into his business. And seek a company who shares your values as well, as I mentioned. Then I went through the rotation and development phase. So this is where I really got to develop some of my leadership skills. I grew my business acumen in this space, and I really gained the necessary soft skills to drive valuable conversations. So when I was on the graduate program, I was working on a campaign that required me to increase the success rate of credit card take up. At the time, store cards were very, very popular, and I really needed to gain those soft skills in order to engage with the different stakeholders, both internally and externally, in order to solve that problem. And I also really got some I could say support from my mentors, my mentorship program as well, which helped me to develop close relationships with my leaders, as well as assist me in managing upwards. So today, most of my I could say peers and clients are the heads of departments, the CEO, the execs, and very often I need to manage their expectations of the work that I'm about to produce. And this requires me to understand managing upwards, because at the same time, they are my client and they also are my leaders. So yeah, those are some of the things that I went through. But more importantly, just the journey, the transition phase from varsity into the workspace. It is very, very interesting in the sense that when you walk in, you're very certain. You're very certain about the position that you're in, the position that you chose to be in, and you're really excited about the value that you're about to add. So what I'm showing you here is the Kubler-Ross curve. Some of you might have seen it, some of you might have not. However, it really speaks to the emotions and a little bit about the journey that I went through. And I'm smiling here because I remember each and every painful staking moment. And when I started out, really, I was unconsciously incompetent. I didn't know what I didn't know. And in that moment, I really felt confident and certain. However, the more I integrated into the different departments, the more I saw how complex the business is and how large the business and how quickly it was growing, I became very aware of the things that I didn't know. And this was the conscious incompetence phase. I really felt a lot of fear. I felt a lot of resistance. I was doubtful of the decision that I'd made. And very often I was doubtful of my own capabilities. I know I graduated from one of the best universities in the country, and I really did trust my skills when I walked in. But in the process, I really did feel like I'd made the wrong decision. However, in trusting in the process, I started to accept where I was, and I started becoming open to learning new skills and relearning some of the habits that I'd picked up in varsity. And that is really what changes this curve. You go from a dip to becoming cautiously competent by allowing yourself to trust the process and really go through those emotions, but more importantly, by being open to learning. And that is where I was. And eventually, I really started feeling that unconscious competence and changed behavior phase, where I really became comfortable in the skill set that I had and how I would drive value in the business. And so I was proud when I was able to sit in front of the execs at the end of my graduation program and really present to them the success rate of the campaign that I just launched. So in the first month of this campaign, it drove about 12% increase success. And I was very excited, and it really added, I think, 7 million to the bottom line. But just to see that as a graduate, for me, reaffirmed me and reassured me that I'd made the right decision. And then I moved on to the placement phase. So after the graduate program, I decided to really put my skills in the data and analytics space, like I mentioned. And this is just the role that I play on a daily basis. But there are other things that make up who I am. So this is where I got to further develop my technical skills, apart from the soft skills that I learned during the program. And I applied this knowledge to add the tangible business value that I spoke about earlier to the business. So the environment that we work in is very volatile. There's plenty of uncertainty, and it's challenging in its complexity. It's very ambiguous. So it's very important to always remember that failure is normal. I was a perfectionist when I started, and it was very difficult for me to hear the words, "This is not what I wanted." But as time went on, I realized that failing is just an opportunity for me, not only to do better, but to deliver the best. So my mentor would always tell me to be smart, to be humble, and to trust the process. And I'm very glad that I did that, because I was able to learn so much from it. In conclusion, I just want to show you a video of my colleagues and myself in action, because Capitec Bank is not just about the working environment. It really inspires us to volunteer and be facilitators of various programs. So this is the Capitec Youth Foundation that I was a part of, where I was able to really give back and give a meaningful contribution to my community, as I mentioned earlier, that I really want to impact low to medium income earning households. And this is just before COVID, so don't mind that there are no masks there. Okay, so I'll press play.
Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use in the world. Nelson Mandela.
The Capitec Foundation aims to improve the financial literacy as well as numeracy of South African youth. We do this through investing in educational programs that are impactful and also sustainable. In celebrating the Youth Month, we are here in Manyano High to share with them the practical knowledge and skills on how to manage their financial lives, but also the importance of maths and science, as these are critical subjects that they need in preparing for the life after matric.
I'm really proud to be here today to come and share my knowledge around like finances and how I've gotten myself to where I am today. When we're all growing up, we're impressionable, and there are some things that are material sometimes that we want, So I've made tons of mistakes where I've bought things that are not necessarily things that are going to provide towards my future. I've not made sound financial decisions. And if I had someone at my age at school at this time to come and share their story, it might have helped me avoid those mistakes. So I'm really excited about today.
So what we have here is a group of Capitec volunteers who have volunteered their time to come and engage with the high school learners.
The reason I volunteer is because and that I want to give back to my community. I believe that leadership is about inspiring others and also transforming the society.
Youth Day in South Africa, as we know, is not a small thing or something that you kind of overlook, because there's so many people who were youths ages ago who sacrificed and put us in a path to where we are now. So I think it's only my duty as well to come in my small way, to come and impart some knowledge, help, and literally put these young people in a path to live better.
when we start early, we believe that they will go on to have a positive impact in the community, not just the community, but also play an active role in the economy as a whole, and also be in the forefront as we obviously embracing the fourth industrial revolution. So it is important for Capitec to be involved in programs of this nature.
Thank you. I'd like to just hand over to my colleague Oleboheng, and yeah, take it away.
Cool, thank you, Tembi. And afternoon, everyone. I'm really excited to be here today to talk to everyone and just to share my journey and my experience as well. And I hope that between Tembi and myself, we can reach someone out there and just help them in their journey as well. Just give them something to carry with from this presentation. So like Tembi said, my name is Oleboheng, and I'm also from Capitec Bank, also a graduate of the program. And before we started, I just wanted to share my achieved success in that as well. And what this means to me, I mean, it can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but the perspective that I use when I look at this quote is just that you're only successful at the point where you reach your goal. You understand? You set a goal for yourself, you put measures into place, and you implement and you achieve your goal, and that's success. That's good. We're happy, congratulations. But what then is next? You understand? And I feel that that's a very important question to ask. What's next for you after that point of success? What is the next point of success for yourself? And I feel that it's always important to go back to that question at each point of success to ask yourself, what am I trying to do next? What am I trying to achieve next? And I think that just helps a lot with personal growth as well. If we go over to the next slide, I'm just going to share a few things about myself. Like I said already, my name is Oleboheng Ramoshaba, and on the left there is who Oleboheng is. And I think this picture sort of captures me quite well. This was on the day of my graduation for my undergrad degree in BCom accounting. And the reason I say I think it captures me well is like, it's colorful. I like to think that I have a colorful personality. And there's a smile on my face, which I try to always have, always looking for a reason to smile. So I think that's a very good description of myself. On the top right there, that's the place I call home. So I'm from Karankua, which is in Pretoria. If there's anyone that's watching this, just maybe give us a thumbs up if you're from there or thereabout. Just, so I know that there's still someone out there, and just also a word of encouragement to you that, you can make it out. So I hope that we all know that. And then at the bottom right is just one thing that I really love. I'm a huge soccer fan. And in that picture there, you'll see one of my favorite people in the world, someone that I look up to quite a lot, wearing the shirt of my favorite team in the world. So needless to say that I'm having a few chest pains this morning. If you know, you know. So I'm not going to touch on that one too much. Over to the next slide. So this is where I did my studying. So for those of you that don't know, this is the University of Johannesburg campus in Auckland Park, Kingsway. I spent 4 years here where I obtained my undergraduate degree in BCom accounting, as I've mentioned before. And then I went on further to obtain my honors degree in financial management. And it was a tough time. It was a tough 4 years. Filled with a lot of memories, both good and bad. But I'm very grateful for all of the things that I was able to learn, either school-wise or about myself as well. There was a lot of personal learning, a lot of personal growth and development. So I do appreciate my time there as well. If we go on to the next slide. So on this slide, this was the initial plan. So in my final year, when I was doing my honors and I was thinking about what's next for me, this is what I had in mind. It was either I was going to go into management accounting or I was going to go into project management, things that I was really excited about. But I also learned during that time that it's very important to manage expectations. Things don't always go according to plan, and that's when you need to develop a character of being open to change, being open to new experiences. Because when I look at where I am now, my journey in the GDP program at Capitec, and now finally graduating from the program, I work in the recoveries department in Capitec. And basically what we do is that we come up with all of the strategies and analysis and reporting and processes, working with external debt collectors in the aim of recovering bad debt. So those will be all of the loans and the credit cards that people are unfortunately unable to pay back, and we need to try and make sure that we can collect and recover as much of that as possible. So just to show you how different it was for me from my initial plan to what I am doing today and what I'm practicing in my profession today as well. Over to the next slide. So I feel that this is a very important slide. When I was putting this together, I was thinking a lot about it, and I was thinking a lot about my journey, things that I picked up, things that I reflect on now when I look back, and things that I wish I had known a bit more about when I was going through that stage in my life. So this slide is just all about workplace readiness, getting yourself set up for employability, which is the whole theme of our presentation today. So in the top left, I'd just like to start by talking about something that's very critical, whether you're a student or whether you are a professional and you are in your dream job, whatever that may be. It's always important to know, to upskill yourself, to know the importance of upskilling yourself, because organizations invest in individuals who invest in themselves. And that is a very big thing that employers are looking for out there. What are you doing to grow yourself? What are you doing to develop yourself? And that's where the organization then comes in and asks themselves, what can we do to help you get to that point? Because it is a relationship, and the more you develop, the more you grow yourselves and your strengths and you work on your weaknesses, the more value you can bring to the organization as well. So whether, I mean, if you have the chance, some of you are still studying now, but you'll be employed soon, but whenever you do get the chance, go for an online course, go for a short course. Every certification counts. It adds really well to who you are, to your brand, and to your marketability as well. So I think that's a very good place to start, always keeping that in the back of your head, continuous professional development and personal growth as well. On the top right there is something that was also very important for me in my journey as well. I mean, after I graduated from my undergrad, and I was thinking and I was asking myself, what's next? Am I looking for a job? Am I looking to further my studies? What am I looking to study further? When I was looking for a job, what company do I want to go to? What kind of work do I want to do? What's exciting for me? The most important thing there was research. Research can never be underestimated. It's a big part of exposing yourself to all of the different things that are out there. So whether it be talking to your lecturers, asking questions, because they will most often be people that have been in the same situation that you are right now. So they will have that experience that they are hopefully willing to share with you. So communication with your lecturers, going online, exposing yourself to all of the different platforms that are out there, just so that you can have the information, know what is out there, find something that is exciting for you, that's something that is interesting for you, something that you think you'll be good at. So that is very important as well during this stage in your lives. On the bottom left, That's basically all about your brand. Some of you might know, some of you might not know, but it's a very important thing to know that you yourself as an individual in your personal capacity are a brand. And that is what organizations out there are looking for when they are looking at bringing in people and looking at bringing in new employees. What is your brand? Who are you? What do you stand for? What value do you bring? What can you add to us, and what can we add to you as well? So it's very important along those lines to be careful of how you put yourself out there, what you put out there on your social media, what platforms you put yourself on. There's a lot of platforms. There's LinkedIn, there's Leaply. Those are also social media platforms where you can put your brand out there for people to see and take cognizance of. So that is very important. And another thing to keep in mind, or two things to keep in mind when you're thinking about your personal brand, is how authentic is it? Everyone wants the real thing. Everyone wants the original. And that goes for you as well. Everyone wants the authentic you. Everyone wants the original you. So what do you stand for? Your character, your beliefs, your fundamentals, which is very important as well. And then the second thing to go along with your authenticity is your consistency as well. How often do you display those same values and those same morals and fundamentals? Because consistency is very important. People buy into consistency. The more people can trust your brand, the more people will want to be associated with your brand as well. And then on the bottom right is your CV. Your CV is highly important at this point, because that is the first point of contact that organizations and employers have with you. That is the first thing that they see. Those are the first things that they know about you, what you put on your CV. So make sure that your CV has as much information about you as possible. Like I said before, because of your personal brand, it needs to be the real information, the authentic information, you understand? Don't undersell yourself, don't oversell yourself, and just make sure that what is on there, just give them the information that will make their decision easier when they are looking at a list of how many ever CVs they're looking at, and trying to decide who they're calling in for an interview. Share your experiences with them. That's very important. What you've been through, how you were able to deal with certain situations as well. So those for me are the 4 key points when you're trying to get yourself ready for employability and ready for an interview. When you're trying to market yourself and your skills, I feel that upskilling, research, your personal brand, and your CV are 4 of the most important things that you need to keep in mind. If we go to the next slide, I'll just share with you. So this is a calendar, obviously, but you'll see that there are some highlighted dates on that calendar there. And these are roughly the dates where, or the stages in my interview or application process when I was applying for the Capitec graduate program. So you'll see that, and I think I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but I think I should mention it, that the reason for me also to be here personally and to share my story and my journey with everyone is when I was still in my 4th year, there was another company that came for a career day, and they were telling us about themselves, encouraging us to apply for their graduate program. And the one way to apply for their program was to create a profile on Leaply and put all my information in there and then apply for the program via Leaply. So I did that, and out of nowhere, I got an invitation on Leaply that said somebody from Capitec Bank came across my profile and they were interested in it and they liked it, and they invited me to apply for the Capitec graduate program. So for me, being here on this platform in association with Leaply, sharing my story is very important to me, because Leaply is actually the reason that I'm in the position that I'm in today, in the fortunate position that I'm in today. So on that day, on the 14th of April, I received the invite and I applied, and you will see that it went all the way up until the 24th of November, which is quite a long time, where on that day I received my final email to let me know that my application into the Capitec graduate program was successful and they'd like to offer me a position. But what I want to focus on on this slide is, if you look at those highlighted dates and you look at the gaps that are in between there, those gaps, it's completely silent. You understand? You apply on the 14th, you get an email on the 3rd of May that says, please complete this assessment. You complete the assessment, it goes through, and then for the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it's quiet until you get another email on the 28th that says, oh, congratulations, you made it through that assessment. Here's another assessment. What I'm trying to get to is that in those brief periods, or in those what can feel like very long periods of silence where you're waiting for feedback, it can get very lonely. A lot of self-doubt creeps in. But what I just want to share with you is that you must always keep that confidence in yourself. Manage your expectations, of course, but go out there, keep putting yourself out there. And it's just a big test in faith and a big test in confidence as well. And a lot of times what happens is, you know, when you go for 2 or 3 interviews and they don't go so well, the next interview you go to, you start thinking, maybe I'm the problem, maybe there's something about me that's not quite getting through to them, or something that about me that they're not quite liking and wanting. So then you start thinking about tailoring yourself and tailoring how you come across in order to make that connection with the interview panel. And I just think that, you know, that isn't actually the best way to go about it. Like I said, you just always need to be the authentic you. Walk into the room with confidence, walk into the room knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you can put out there, and be consistent in that. And something that really helps with that is going for or targeting companies, organizations that share the same values as you, that share the same fundamentals as you, because then on a very basic level, as soon as you walk into the interview room, you already know that you and the organization are in alignment, which makes it much easier for you to come across, which makes it much easier for you to remain the same and the real you as well. So I think that's something very important also to consider when you're trying to put yourself out there. Put yourself out there as widely and as broadly as possible, of course, but also make sure that when you do put yourself out there, it is with organizations that believe in the same things as you, because once you are brought into the company, the job that you do will be so much better when you know that I'm doing this because of my values and what I believe in. And if that's the same thing that the company believes in, you do it with much more of a passion, a much higher energy, a much higher love for it. That's when you start to try and develop yourself personally and professionally as well, in order to get into the right positions to affect the most change that you can as well. So that's just something for me that I wanted to leave you guys with on this slide. If we move over to the next slide, we just want to sort of, as a summation, just give you guys some of the major do's and don'ts that we believe in when you are setting yourself up for employability. So Tembi, I've spoken quite a bit. I need a sip of water. Maybe if you can kick off the do's and the don'ts for us, and then I'll just jump in as well.
Okay. Thank you for that, Ole. So right now we'll just kick off with the do's. What are the things that we should really think about when we're trying to be employed? One of our colleagues said the other day that we should really think about rejection as redirection. And it's very important that when you go out there, like we mentioned before, to be authentic. This is probably one of the things that we're stressing the most, because this is the one opportunity that you get to show the audience who you are and what you bring to the table. And if your brand is flawed, if your brand is has got cracks in it, if you don't believe in your brand, it's very difficult for the interview panel to believe in you. Yeah, so that would be my first definite do. Definite do. Yeah, Ole, what about the second one?
Cool. So the second one, which we also feel is a very important one when trying to put yourself out there and get across to the interview panel, really let them know who you are and let them know about your skills and all of that, is sharing your experiences and your values. So this can be something as easy as I remember actually when I was in my final interview. No, just correction. I think it was my first interview actually for the Capitec graduate program. One of the questions that was asked to me is when I was trying to decide what I'm going to study further. The question was, how did you come up to the decision that you make? You know, how did you finally decide on what it was going to be? So in that point, I just had to share with them, let them know what my thought process was, let them know the steps that I took in order to be able to come to a final decision. You understand? Things like doing research, things like talking to people in the field, doing research on the industry, you understand? So things like that, that just give the interview panel information about yourself. How does this person think? How does this person go about making decisions? How does this person face challenges and adversity in order to be able to come out on top? Those are things that really stand out for an interview panel and for organizations, because then they know that once they do absorb you into the organization, this person has you know, the right level of thought processes, the right decision making skills and capabilities in order to affect change and in order to add value as well. So share your experiences and your values, make sure that they align with the organization, and you should be good.
Cool. Okay, and then the next one is just research on the company or industry. I think we can also not stress this enough. Everybody will ask you this question: why us? Why did you choose to apply with Capitec and not another organization? And once again, if you're not able to bring that across by sharing your experiences, your values, and you're not authentic, it's very difficult to align those things to who you are and to the business, to the company as well. As I mentioned before, there are certain questions that they might ask you that are related to the company, but it's not necessarily something that you would have known if you had not researched it. Typical example, the values. They might ask you something that is closely related to their values by asking you what brand do you best identify with. It doesn't really mean that your brand needs to be Capitec in order for you to identify with Capitec, but the answer around it, the things that connect you to that brand, are probably the things that the business or the company is looking for as well. So yeah, do a lot of research on the company and the industry that you want to go into. And then lastly,
Cool. Just before I speak about the brand awareness presentation, just also to jump on the example that Tembi just gave on research on the company and the industry. In my interview, in one of my interviews, I think it was the final interview, I was asked, what do I think Capitec needs to do? What new thing do I think Capitec needs to do? And I came up, well, because fortunately, during my interview process, in one of my interviews that I had to go to, I went to a Capitec branch and I went to speak to one of the ladies in the branch, and they mentioned to me that they don't do business banking. And I took that, and once I was asked that question in my final interview, I brought up the issue of business banking to say, I mean, with everything that Capitec is doing now, I think business banking is the right thing to do. It's the right time to go into business banking for Capitec, only to find out that they were also thinking along the same lines. So something like that really resonates with the interview panel, because they can see that this person took the time to know about us. They took the time to know enough about us in order to be able to see gaps, you understand, to be able to see, and maybe not gaps, but opportunities as well. And something like that really helps you to stand out, to say, oh, so you know so much about us that you're able to see that from this point where we are right now, in order for us to grow, in order for us to be better, this is a good opportunity for us to go into. And when you're sitting in that interview panel and it's the head of the department or it's the exec of the department, and you say something like that, something that they in the boardroom are discussing as well and thinking about and looking at, that definitely helps you stand out. So just, to reiterate again, the importance of research on the company and the industry as well. But now on to brand awareness presentation. This just goes back to my previous slide, where I was talking about your personal brand. How do you put yourself out there, on social media, on platforms, on professional platforms, whatever it may be, in person as well? How do you walk into the interview room? You understand? Walk in there with a confidence, look the part, feel the part. You understand? Be consistent, be authentic, be you, and just keep doing that. Keep letting them know the real you, and that is something that also organizations really buy into as well. Let them know what your brand stands for. Let them know the future vision of your brand, and how the two brands, being yourself and the organization, can work together in order for both brands to grow and become bigger than what they are in isolation.
Yeah, I like that, Ole. I think it's very important as well to just think beyond ourselves, right? Just think 5 years ahead of where we're going to be now. Where will our technology be? Where will these brands be? Where will you be? And it's very important, like he said, to do that necessary research so that you can align where you want to be in the future, your goals, and your dreams, to where you are now. That North Star needs to connect with and resonate with you now, so that you can enter into an organization where you feel like you're making meaningful impact to the business, to the communities around you, to the people around you, and to yourself as well. So yeah, I like that. Well, jumping onto the don'ts. Oli, I'm going to let you take the first one.
Cool. A very big thing to stay away from is misrepresentation of yourself, misrepresentation of your brand. It's, I mean, the worst thing about misrepresentation is getting caught out. So for example, and coincidentally, actually, I saw a video on Instagram, I think it was last week sometime, of Elon Musk, and they were asking him what he considers when he's hiring, when he's interviewing people. And he spoke a lot about, I asked the person about their professional experiences, you understand, the things that they've been through, some of the things that they've worked on, projects and whatever. And he said something very important. He said that it's very easy in the line of questioning to spot people that actually worked on this and that actually did the things that they are saying, compared to the people that they don't, because the evidence is in the detail, you understand? So the reason we say stay away from misrepresenting yourself is because of that, is because of overselling yourself and your skills. You say you can do something that you can't, and then when you get the opportunity to be able to showcase that skill and you get caught out, that is an inconsistency in your brand, and that is something that people stay away from. I mean, I'm sure even for everyone out there, when you look at the brands that you sort of know and resonate with, the brands that you like, whether it be a clothing brand or Checkers or a ShopRite or whatever, inconsistency breaks that trust. And where there is no trust, there can be no relationship. So that's a very big thing that we think should be steered away from.
Like that. Okay. The next one is don't undersell or overcommit. I like what you said there, Oli, that it's very easy to catch someone out. Businesses do know, organizations know that there are certain skills that you do not yet have, mostly technical and soft skills as well, that they don't expect you to have as a graduate. So don't feel overwhelmed by the description or the title that you're working towards. Rather, benchmark yourself. 50% of the skill set is more than enough for you to commit to making that application. But also, if you undersell yourself, then you sell yourself short of the opportunity to really grow as an individual. So that area of growth is just as important as being able to add that value. And don't overcommit. Something we like to say at Capitec is undercommit and overdeliver. If you overcommit to something and you do not deliver on what you said, we all know this. We've seen it on social media. We know it on Black Twitter. If you say you're going to do something big and it is underwhelming, you are definitely going to get it. You're not going to enjoy the feedback that you receive, and it will also probably knock down your confidence as well. So yes, this is a definite don't. Yeah, next one.
Yeah, I mean, Tembi, just on the back of that, we are, what do they call it? We are in the era of, I forgot, cancel era, something like that. Cancel culture. So it's very easy to get canceled nowadays, and those are just some things that you need to keep in mind as well. The same can happen in an interview, you know, if you overcommit, if you misrepresent. So yeah, just watch out for that. And then this one is a pretty standard one, but I think it's a very, it can oftentimes be very understated. So we just wanted to put it out there again to say, do not be late. Just get there way ahead of time if you need to, but it's not good. It's not a good first impression. It's not a good representation of your brand, and certain things stick. So and this is one of those things, you understand, your ability to be on time, to be punctual, to respect the occasion enough to be there on time, is a very huge importance.
True. And basically, I will wrap up with the last two. Don't forget to communicate, and don't freeze and or panic when you are asked a question that you don't know. So the communication factor is very important. Things happen, and we're human. If you have a really bad day and you can't make it to an interview, call the person that is either organizing the interview or you've been in contact with and let them know. It is better that you've communicated that you're unable to make it and reschedule, rather for you to show up very late or not show up at all without any communication, because that in itself also leaves a bad taste in the mouths of your potential employers. And everybody here has great potential. Everybody here is probably an awesome rock star, and everybody here deserves the platform to really showcase who they are. And then don't freeze or panic. If they ask you something you've never heard of or don't know, really be honest. Just say, I don't know, I haven't thought about it, and give yourself a moment to really think and answer. Most people will definitely respect your ability to be honest about the fact that you really didn't know the answer to the question. You didn't rehearse it. Some of us go through like interview questions galore, and you get there and they ask it in a different way and it throws you off. It's okay. Give yourself a moment, drink some water if there's water in the room, breathe, communicate what you're feeling, and then go through with it. And the last one, Ole.
Hey, never forget to smile. Never forget to smile. A smile goes a long way. It helps. It's great in relationship building. So that's just something to always keep in mind. Let them know that you're happy to be there, you're happy for the opportunity to talk to them, and let it show. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's it from me.
Thanks, Ole. Yeah, so that's it from us, the graduates. We're going to hand over to Chantal, who'll talk about more about how to apply for the graduate program 2022.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Tembi and Ole Bocheng. I think you guys really equipped or provide a lot of information and advice to you guys out there. So really grab this opportunity and make use of this information as they've been individuals that's been on the journey. Just to conclude, we have at Capitec currently, we have an exciting opportunity available, which is our graduate development program opportunity. And I mean, you've just heard from Ole Bocheng and Tembi, the great experience that they've experienced to date, and they're still on a journey at Capitec. So if it's really something that you are interested in, you're more than welcome to go and visit the Leaply website, create your profile, go and visit, see what the opportunity is about. It provides you with all the necessary information about what to expect, the skills that we are looking for, benefits, all those type of things. So please go and explore, and more than welcome, and looking out for your application, and good luck. Thank you, Tembi and Ole Bocheng.
Thank you so much to everyone. Chantal, are you just up for a couple of questions, perhaps?
Yes, more than welcome.
Okay, I had some direct questions for Tembi and Olebocheng, but their presentation was so in depth that it literally covered all of it. So just a few of the most popular questions that kept coming up was, with regards to what happens after the graduate program? So once you've applied and you've been through the graduate program, what happens after that?
So thank you, Kiana, for the question. So once you've completed and your application has been successful, the journey normally, the successful candidate will start next year, the 1st of Feb, and you obviously will be permanent from day one. So the graduate development program is an 18-month rotational program that you'll go and explore the different divisions within the organization. And then after you've completed the graduate development program, you will go into a team, which you've been earmarked from the beginning.
Okay,
yes.
Cool. Perfect. And then just another one. Does Capitec offer any like VAC work, internship programs? Like what other opportunities are there bursary wise? Do you accommodate international students? Just around about there.
Right, yes, so let's quickly discuss from we do also have an external bursary program for individuals that also require, we know studying can become quite expensive. So we have that program as well that soon will also go live on the Leaply website. So if you require further funding in terms of your studies, but I also think when you apply for a bursary opportunity is really going back to what Tembi and Ole Bocheng said. It's really associate your brand with the Capitec brand, because I think that is very important. So though the external bursary program, we do start from grade 12s. It really depends where you are, up to postgraduate students that would really like to complete their masters.
Okay.
And then from vocational or holiday work or internships. So in terms of that, from our bursary, if you're part of our bursary program, the opportunity is really granted from a holiday work program. We'll give you the opportunity to come spend time within the division that you will be, or in the team, one could say, that you will be placed after you've completed your studies. And then in terms from any other opportunities, That is really by case at the moment. But obviously for us, it's the most important. We have all these great opportunities available. So I think just grabbing those opportunities is already an opportunity to become part of the family as we speak here at Capitec.
Okay, thank you very much. That is it from my side with questions. Thank you so much, Chantal. And just a massive, massive thank you to Capitec and the team, to Tembi and Olebogeng for the amazing and insightful session, and just giving us a taste of their journey with Capitec thus far. The key takeaways for me would be to always be present, to be authentic, and to do your research and connect with companies who share the same value as you do. Personally, I believe that knowledge is power, so empower yourself with experiences. Like Olebogeng said, that's what employers are out there looking for as well. So you're not only doing it to grow yourself, but you get the added bonus of opportunities, because that is what the employees are out looking for. And just be authentic. Personally, I'm going to go and print that do's and don'ts, that entire slide, and I'm going to stick it up on my wall and look at it each and every day. If you'd like to do the same, the session is available on demand. If you've missed it, the recorded session can be found in the agenda under this particular session. And just the one of them of not being late, it actually reminded me of something which an educator always said: being on time is actually being late. So be early, because then you are actually on time. Again, thank you so much to Chantal, Olebogeng, Tembi, and the team for this session today. You were great. And just a small thank you to Investec as the main event sponsor of Career Week. That was it for this session today, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for attending. If you'd like to check out more about Capitec and ask them some more questions, pop over to the exhibitor booth. If you're on the web, it's on your left. On the mobile, look for the exhibitor tab below on your screen. Again, ask questions, show your interest, and stand out. Just a couple of mentions about competitions and prizes. The GradStar later today. So download the GradStar app from your app store, enter the DHL GradStar Awards through the app, and attend the GradStar session at 3 p.m. today. You could stand a chance of winning an Hawaii watch fit, Nando's 500 voucher, and a future fit assessment with strengths and the reports. And then there's just the PPS. They've been running their competition. We are able to win 1,000 Rand worth of PPS unit trust. So pop over to their booth, enter the raffle, sign up for the grad information button. And yeah, that's it for me today. Thank you so much, everyone.